Welcome, everyone, to the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy version commentary. This is,
I get it now.
yeah.
I've never played a Crash Bandicoot game. I have never watched a playthrough of it. I know nothing about this beyond he's a platforming character, and he can twirl.
Well, I'm sure you've heard the Sonic's ass game thing before, right?
No.
Okay, well, then we can, I guess, I'll talk about that in a minute. But, yeah, this is Crash Bandicoot. We're playing the Insane Trilogy version. So it's, like, fully remade from the ground up.
So you're not playing the real version?
Okay, the original Crash one has aged poorly. Like, compared to this, he's so heavy in the original. It's so hard to control.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the graphics of the first game did not age as well as the original versions of 2 and 3, which I think look quite good on PS1.
How different are these graphics?
Well, you know, these are fully HD, obviously. I'd say they were pretty faithful to the Crash 1 style.
Oh yeah, he has way more detail in him than a PS1 character can. So.
Well, yeah, like the original games are inspired by, like, Saturday morning cartoons, hence why everyone is so animated and goofy looking.
Right.
I think this remake really emphasized that and went to the logical extreme with this art style, and I really like it. I think this game looks great. Nothing compared to Crash 4, though, in my opinion. Crash 4 looks even, like, way better than this. And it is weird going back to the Insane Trilogy after playing Crash 4. I will say that, at least.
Does he talk?
Kinda. He says, like, uh-oh, and whoa!
Oh, so it's like Mario, okay.
Yeah, pretty much Mario. Though, you know, later he appeared in Skylanders because this is owned by Activision. And he was in the Skylanders Netflix series. And
Skylanders. Now that's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
But in that series, he has just an Australian accent, and he can just talk, even though he's supposed to be a complete and utter idiot.
Huh.
Which is his excuse for not really actually talking in these games.
A very nice looking PS1 game. It's almost like it's not a PS1 game.
Yeah. So,
I joked about how little I know about this, but I do know a little bit about the design. I know one of their plans for making this work in the third dimension was essentially taking away a lot of your movement options by making the levels narrow. I kind of know about their storage saving trick or their disk loading trick. I don't know how it fully works, but I know they kind of pioneered that.
Yeah.
I just never actually played this.
Yeah, this game is, you know, it is technically fully 3D, but it's basically like a 2D, like, Donkey Kong Country style game, but you're going into the screen half the time instead of left or right. But there is a lot of 2D sections, but they're...
You gotta go back down an alternate path.
Okay, yeah.
That's kind of dumb.
This is, like, the most infamous thing about these games, is getting 100%. A lot of
He's
levels...
so scared of how far back you should go.
Yeah, a lot of levels require you to backtrack, but of course this is a linear game, so the camera's always facing forward. It's like trying to go backwards in Sonic
Crash 4
Forces.
at least let you change the camera?
Crash 4 sort of has, like, the Sonic Unleashed camera where you can slightly tilt it, and that's actually very helpful.
Gotcha.
But
I feel like you could have just had it a button that lets you flip the camera so it's facing
yeah,
behind
but
you.
then they'd have to make the graphics look good in both directions, and that would be a lot more for the PS1.
I'm not saying for the PS1 game, I'm talking about, like, for Crash 4 and such. And modern games.
Yeah, well,
I get it for the PS1 because it was the first game designed like this.
Well, even still, like, you'd still have to make it look good from both directions. Like
does it not?
Well, I don't know, because you can't look at it from other directions. The fixed camera angle allows them to, you know, have basically full control over what every frame of this game looks like, you know.
Right.
And that allows them to utilize more of the console's resources with less, because they're not having to worry about fully rendering the environment. So a lot of these objects, more than likely, just aren't rendered on the other side, which just allows the game to look and run a lot smoother. And that also applies to PS1. And like that's the whole reason why these are fixed camera angle platformers in the first place, is because, you know, they want it to look good. Yeah. Okay, so real quick, that green invisible platform thing that we just passed.
Okay.
That is a colored gem platform. And in a lot of levels, you need the color gem to get a 100%, because the color gem platform will take you to a slightly alternate route that has a little more boxes that you cannot reach without the gem. So there's a lot of backtracking to get 100% in this game, and pretty much all the Crash games, less so Crash 4. You can like optimize it pretty well in Crash 2 and 3, but this game, most of the color gems are like late in the game. So
is it worth getting 100%?
For this game, no. Like, I did it just for this playthrough, just make it a little more beefy, you know? But like, these games are also just a lot of fun as straight point A to point B platformers too.
Gotcha.
But getting the boxes and getting 100% is where like most of the challenge is, I would say.
Yeah, watching this definitely feels like it carries the energy of a lot of 2D platforms just in 3D.
Oh yeah, it's well, like I said,
compared to what a lot of 3D platformers were transitioning to.
Yeah, like
because either they would just poorly do it, or they'd go like the Mario 64 route and make something like completely different.
Yeah. See, I really like the more linear platforming design, because it's fully focused on platforming. There's no like in Mario 64, half the time you're doing objectives that don't really involve you needing to platform, and it's just kind of an open sandbox environment that you can do whatever you want in, and that's good in its own way. But this is like just straight platforming challenge the whole way through. So, and this game, Crash's moveset is very limited. You basically can just run, jump, and spin. And that's it. Later games introduce more moves, and that's partly why those games are just better than this.
This game... I was going to say real quick, this is a random memory I dredged up from my head, but I think I played a Game Boy Advance game for this. Or maybe it was DS, I don't remember.
It probably was.
I remember it was a 2D game, and you like got chased by a bear or something.
Yeah, so, yeah, that was probably a GBA game, I think, because I think by the time the DS was a thing, I think Crash was in its tattoo Crash phase, and that was not a good time for this franchise. But like the GBA titles, at least I think the first one, I'm not too sure about the second one because I think there's two. The GBA games are widely considered like, yeah, this is pretty much just a Crash Bandicoot game on the Game Boy Advance. So, you know, you got...
So it's kind of like what Klonoa did.
Yeah, exactly like that, actually. And yeah, it's quite interesting, especially since the GBA is actually like able to do 3D. So sometimes in those games there are 3D moments.
Do lives matter in this game?
No, not really.
Okay.
Okay, well actually that's kind of the give and take with going for 100%. So going for 100%, you're breaking all these boxes and getting all the Wumpa fruit, which is this game's main collectible. So you're getting a lot of lives. But if you're not worried about breaking the boxes, you're not getting as much Wumpa fruit, and therefore you're not getting as many lives. So maybe, I don't really play these games without going for 100% that much. So maybe there's something there to where it's like, it's more challenging because you don't have as many lives and you'll game over more. But if you're going for the boxes, you're getting 99 lives very quickly. You know.
So it's like Sonic, where after a certain point, where lives don't matter.
Yeah. This game throws lives and Wumpa fruit at you. It's
Yeah.
like
At least
you'll
it's a
die.
little better than like the later Mega Man X games where lives don't matter if you missed one. What the hell?
No, the box. Okay, so in these levels, originally, if the rolling ball broke a box, it wouldn't count. But now in this remake, it counts. So if you miss a box, it's not as big a worry. But sometimes the ball does bounce and it misses boxes, so you gotta yeah. So you want to go for them you want to go for them anyways.
How awkward is the platforming when you're running towards the camera?
It's not
I don't know, like, if you just keep holding forward when you jump, are you going to overshoot platforms, or can you be pretty confident you always land on them, so you can just mindlessly jump?
So basically, in like the more regular levels when you're not being chased, platforming against the camera is terrifying and terrible. But in these levels that are designed for that, you can pretty much just hold down the entire time and like do a full jump and you'll always make it. You pretty much you have as much reaction time.
I like the water.
Oh yeah,
very nice.
That's an interesting fact. And every commentary channel brings this up when this level comes into play, but like
I'm sorry.
It's fine, but like Miyamoto played this like a demo that included this level of this game back in the 90s, and he said the water looks so good it inspired him to do more water levels. So the joke
so this made Mario Sunshine.
Yeah, this level is what caused Mario Sunshine.
I mean, how does the water look in the original game?
It looks pretty good. Like the graphics.
This definitely does not. This is definitely not PS1 water, but
yeah,
I still imagine had to look nice on there.
Yeah, the original game, like I said, because of the fixed camera angle, they were able to pump a lot of graphics out on that PS1.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it looked good for the time. Like I would say, most of the environments in Crash, even though it was on a weaker system technically than the N64, they look a lot better than like Mario 64 does.
Yeah,
because like that game is just a bunch of flat textures, simple geometrical objects. That sort of thing. This game, even on PS1, has natural feeling and looking environments. So,
yeah, I always like learning about how PS1 games avoid graphical limitations and get around that. Because like this has some interesting ways of fixed camera angles. Silent Hill, in particular, is interesting with its fog effect, and then its own fixed camera angles, being able to get as much detail as you can in PS1. Resident Evil using pre-rendered images and such.
Yeah.
So they can have better models. I like learning about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the loading trick you were talking about earlier is basically that all the data for this game was pushed to the outside of the disc, and so that it would load faster, and they just put a bunch of junk data in the middle of the disc.
So in other words, this game was tiny enough that they didn't need all the disc.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm not sure if it's the same for 2 and 3, though, because especially 3. 3 is a pretty dang big game.
This is a pretty brain-dead boss.
Okay, yeah. All the bosses...
Are you, like, stun-locking him into always hitting the same place? Why isn't he tracking you?
It's because, you know, you're not supposed to jump on his chair. To just immediately jump on him. But, like... It's in the game, so I'm gonna abuse it.
That feels like a really big oversight.
No, they do that kind of stuff on purpose in this game. They like to utilize the 3D environment in unexpected ways. But yeah, this is a feature for the remake. We get to pick when we want to play as Coco Bandicoot, who is Crash's sister, who was introduced in Crash 2.
I didn't know there were multiple playable characters.
Yeah, they play exactly the same in this.
So they're just skins, okay?
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, the story reason for the remake is she's time traveling to help Crash, but she wants to keep a low profile, so she can't fight like major bosses or anything.
Huh.
Yeah. But yeah, she plays exactly like Crash. A lot of people like to play as her just because she has more fun and cute animations, I guess.
Gotcha.
And she's carrying her freaking laptop all the time. Just cause. Why not? One of her idle animations is her taking out her cell phone. And it explodes because it's a Samsung. And if you do it next to like TNT crates and stuff, they'll explode too and you'll die.
Why are you waiting for the invincibility then?
Okay, so this is like a beginner's trap. There is a token here that's Embryo, that character token. If you touch the TNT while you're invincible, it immediately explodes and erases, or not erases, it sort of like flings away all the collectibles inside if the boxes explode. So that's a
dick move.
Yeah, that's a beginner's trap. There's a lot of those. I probably fell for it, and this is probably my like second attempt at the level. So, but these tokens, they basically open like bonus stage platforms, which act as checkpoints, and you need to do them because there's boxes in them. But
Gotcha.
yes, see, I got all the Tana tokens, and now I'm in the Tana bonus level. And yeah, originally the boxes in here did not count towards your box total, but the original had a lot of issues where like you could not die at all to get any of the 100% box crate totals, because if you died, it would reload in all the boxes as if you never broke them, even if you got a checkpoint past the boxes that you already broke. So yeah, that's partly why the original just kind of sucks.
So what would you recommend starting with then?
I mean, Crash 1 has that first game syndrome.
But is it fun? Because it's like, I can still have fun with Sonic 1 and still recommend it to try out first, but...
Yeah, I mean, I could personally recommend this game. A lot of people say, like, start with Crash 2, and if you really like that, then try Crash 1. But, like, I think if you start...
I'll oftentimes find the less advanced moveset of the first game. It makes it even harder to get into after you play the sequel, so...
Yeah, that's exactly
why. If you go from Doom Eternal to then playing 2016, you're gonna have a real bad time.
Yeah, that's why I would recommend the first game, because you really do miss those moves in Crash 2 and 3 that you get in this game. Like in Crash 2, you get a slide, and with the slide you can jump out of it, and it retains your speed, and you get extra height. And that's just like a very satisfying move. There's also like a belly flop sort of body, like ground pound sort of move, which is good for breaking big groups of boxes. And in Crash 3, there's a plethora of extra moves that you get, including a double jump and a super tornado spin, which is just your spin, but you mash the button and it goes real crazy, and you can use it to hover. So... this game is very basic. Crash 1 is a very, very first game syndrome-y. But I still find it pretty fun. Like, since I've played the later games, going back to this, it takes a minute to get used to the lack of moves. But once I do, I'm like, yeah, this is a fun, challenging sort of platformer, you know? It's good. And, yeah, it's very linear, but if you're going for 100%, you feel like you're combing every inch of these stages.
I'm glad to see that even 3D platformers can avoid auto-scrolling levels.
But these are exciting. These are fast, and I died. Dude, yeah, so
This looks like a nightmare for completion.
It's really not that bad.
Probably not, but I don't know. I always get nervous trying to get everything on one of these levels.
You want to see Nightmare for completion? You should look at the animal riding levels for Crash 4, which we will get to.
Yes, I heard of how bad Crash 4's completion is.
Yes. Well, even still, just the animal riding parts are so much worse than these games in that game. It's like the one part of the control that they just did not get right for that game. It's frustrating.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, those are
things
hogs.
are just already being on a fucking rotisserie. What the hell?
Yep.
They're not even being cooked. That's such a waste.
Well, they knew that a marsupial would be invading their territory, so they had to put something to block him.
I guess.
And the hog was helping him because all of his brothers were murdered and put on sticks.
Oh my.
But
I didn't expect this game to have impalement.
That's one thing I did want to bring up because I did die. We're not going to be seeing a lot of it, but the Crash games are sort of known for the death animations. There's a lot of unique ones depending on what killed you.
Also, it's kind of like Batman Arkham games.
Yeah, but like cartoony and funny. Like you kind of want to kill Crash with everything just to see how he dies.
Also, Tomb Raider. Also, the new Tomb Raider games have some really, really insane and gory deaths for Lara Croft. And out of curiosity, I kind of want to see them. Yeah. Same thing with, or even like Dead Space 2.
Yeah, I feel like in those games, you kind of also
those deaths are just very graphic and insane. So be careful with that.
They're also like realistic. Like you kind of expect them to happen with how you died in a realistic sort of setting like that. You know.
I mean, I guess, but you just have to see some of them. I think the famous one for like Tomb Raiders. There's this sliding section where you slide and you have to avoid a bunch of shipwrecked stuff. And at one point, you can just get impaled where the stick goes through your mouth. And you just see her slowly die and struggling to pull off, and then she dies.
Oh my god, that's brutal.
So, I mean, how realistic we talking here?
I mean, that is realistic.
Technically, but it's like... It still... looks cartoony enough, like just over the top.
Yeah. But in this, like, if Crash explodes, you'll see him like suddenly launch off the screen or something, and then all that comes back down are his like shoes and his eyeballs.
Yeah.
If he like in Crash 2, you can get stung by a bee and he'll just like inflate to a massive size because I guess he's really allergic.
Were these all in the PS1 games too?
Oh yeah, like this was like part of the identity of these games was their cartoony deaths, and
I'm glad they did go all the way on their style.
Oh yeah, like this is like the well yeah, that's fun.
Why you fail?
At least I didn't die.
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the Savannah Citadel level of Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah.
Just because you're going up a big wooden structure and it's looping.
Yeah, the only difference is it's not a tree.
I'm simple-minded. I want to play Sonic Unleashed now.
Then record it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so these are not...
I don't like that.
These are not actually 2D sections. They're still fully 3D.
I don't like that at all.
But you can't walk off back there. Like the game prevents you from walking off the level.
Right, but I don't know. I'd still expect this to be like Klonoa, where you can't travel. You can only still travel left or right. You can throw stuff in the other direction, but you can't travel that way.
See, I like that because it's like these games are fully 3D, and it uses that to its advantage to hide secrets and stuff.
I don't know. That's a little too much on like the level of Doom secrets, where I think it's a little too obscure, and you have to really go out of your way to find it.
Not really, because like all the other logs...
I would miss that all day and never find that.
All
without
the
a guide.
all the other logs have stakes. It's only the flat ones that you can go behind.
I'm dumb 2-year-old and wouldn't think to follow that.
Okay, well, dumb 2-year-olds aren't playing video games.
It's like the I don't know. It's like the same problem people had with that fence you can jump over in Sonic 06. Where it's like, yeah, it's obvious when you think about it, but you're not going to think to do it.
Okay, well, that's not intended by the developers. They just didn't
how you're
put an
supposed to get over it?
wall. What do you mean?
That mission in 06, isn't that how you're supposed to do that? Just jump over the fence?
No, probably not. I don't think so.
Someone hasn't played enough Sonic 06.
Is it a mission or a stage?
It's a mission. Or maybe it's just part of the general hub world. There's this area where there's a fence blocking your way.
I know.
And you have to jump over it.
Yeah, you just jump over that. There's no invisible wall because it's 06.
Yeah, I'm saying it's unintuitive because you just generally don't think you can do that. Like, most games tell you can't do that.
But like Crash makes it very clear that the 2D levels are still 3D. So that kind of secret is the same kind of secret in like a Metroid game where there's like a slightly different tile that you notice or something.
I feel like it's more obvious there because you're made to look for them versus this where there's nothing required for it. So I think it's a little less obvious.
Completion.
It's not required.
It's required for completion.
Yeah, but it's not required to play the game.
No, but if you're going for completion, it is required.
Whatever. I'm sure I've lost this argument. I'm sure someone will tear into me, but whatever.
Dude, that was something I found.
Water.
That was something I found on my own, so that's why I'm defending it. You know, my first time
I'm
playing
big
this
dumb
game.
dumb and wouldn't find that. I have enough trouble trying to find secrets in Doom.
Well, then good luck trying to complete Crash 4. Like, look at that.
Oh, fucking hell! I hate that. And you died anyways.
Yeah, but I had a life. I already have 54 lives.
This is actually more insane than Sonic 3.
Oh yeah, like this game like I said, it throws lives at you. Literally, there is one level that if you have the colored gem when you go in, yeah, see, stuff like that is very sneaky and I don't like it. Where you have to hit a switch to make some boxes appear behind you.
That's what Doom does. Is that kind of shit.
See, but that's
or just
like
a random wall you have to go up and press spacebar against because you were supposed to know that.
See, that's a little more fair though because you do pass those quote-unquote invisible boxes, but the invisible boxes have outlines, you know. So you can see that there are supposed to be boxes there that you need to hit a switch for.
I wouldn't find it. I'm just a dumb gamer, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, that's fine.
That's why I'm not the one playing this.
Okay, well, you feel...
Maybe one day I'll play this game. Only one day.
You will feel even dumber in Crash 4. Because... Okay, so the classic Crash games, they always have that one or two levels where there's this really sneaky hidden box that you can hardly see. It's on the screen for like a millisecond, something like that. Crash 4, every level has a box, at least one box like that, sometimes more. Mm-hmm. And they're never in obvious spots, but you still feel so stupid.
You're gonna 100% it for this, right?
Oh god, no. That would be a freaking 80-hour commentary.
I believe in your editing abilities. Big rip.
I like how immediately Crash drowns.
Just like, nope, I can't handle the water.
In Crash 2, he kind of just floats on his back.
He actually is worse with water than Sonic is, and that's saying something.
Yeah. You can't touch water in these games. That's why Coco gets a jet ski in the third game.
Ew.
Ba ba ba. Yeah, sometimes he also pulls them out of his ass. So.
As you should.
Yeah. He
You
also.
know what? Sonic taught me that emeralds and other type jewels can be inside of an ass, so
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
But
I guess
like,
Sonic learned it from his buddy Crash.
you literally like see him like pulling hard at his butt, and then it makes a popping noise as it comes out. So
I feel like at that point he just swallowed some coal. Decided to crap out a diamond.
Okay, so this boss is kind of silly. You gotta just time it. It's a little more challenging, but it's like, it's
yeah. You ever seen the show Johnny Test?
Yes.
There's an episode where I'm pretty sure they're just referencing Crash Bandicoot and this boss in particular, if you know what I'm talking about.
What happens in the?
There's this episode where they're playing a game, and part of it is spinning to attack things, and then a boss where you have to jump between platforms like this.
Well, you know,
I feel like this has got to be a reference to this. I just didn't know it at the time.
I'm getting wrecked. Yeah, I did not edit out every death because the deaths are funny sometimes. So
this is sure enough commentary. You don't have to.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't take out some of my Mega Man 2 deaths.
Of course. But yeah, see, I'm using the 3D environment. You in other games you wouldn't think to stand off to the side.
And then you fail anyways.
I just jumped down. Yeah. I didn't have
So does he jump towards the one you activate, or do you just gotta hope he jumps to it?
No, see, like, he's just, on the first round, he just does this formation every time. So you gotta time it, and then the next time he does, like, a triangle through the middle, and then down at the bottom middle. Yeah.
But you missed.
And then the third one, it's like a diamond shape. So.
Huh. Yeah. I don't really like this boss that much.
Yeah, the bosses in Crash 1 are not good. Like, I can confidently say that.
This is just the definition of tedious platforming boss.
Well, except you're not
Thank
technically.
goodness it's not the.
You're technically
robot.
not waiting to hit him, like, after he does an attack pattern. You're just waiting on the TNT to explode, you know?
Right.
So it's not like...
I'd be bad at timing it.
Yeah, I mean, I am. You just kind of saw that. I mainly got lucky with that one.
All I'm hearing is I'll never play this game.
His Crash 2 boss, Ripperoo's Crash 2 boss, is pretty good. Like, he'll jump around an arena, and the floor as he jumps will turn into like TNT, and you gotta just pretty much avoid that. And then he'll do it with nitro crates, and nitro crates are instant death if you touch them. So, like, not even spin them. Like, the TNT crates you have to break. Nitro, if you touch them at all, you die.
Got it. Death boxes.
Yes, they are the death boxes. Though I don't know if they're... I don't think they're in Crash 1, actually. I don't think about it. Okay, this level gave me a lot of shit.
I can see why already.
It is a... it's a colored gem level, so I can't die.
Have fun with that.
So you're gonna see... basically my first attempt, and then I think I speed through my second attempt.
Oh, I would just cut straight through to the third attempt.
No. See, I just spun one of the tokens away. So I'm just like, what do I do?
It's not restarting. Why aren't you restarting?
I don't know. Maybe this is one of the levels where it's not required. Who knows?
You don't want to play this. You're supposed to remember this shit.
I don't go back to Crash 1 that much. When Crash 2, 3, and 4 exist. 4 is like one of my favorite games of all time.
But you still haven't completed it. Tisk, tisk, tisk.
Okay, it can be my favorite game, but that completion stat, like, oh my god.
That's okay. I don't think I've completed any game. in the full completionist sense. So
Mm-hmm.
the closest thing I'm gonna have is probably by the end of my save file on Nier Automata, and then I'm gonna wipe it because you have to.
I was very sad. I don't get 100% in Metroid Prime. I'm like 7% off.
How easy is it to walk backwards towards the screen and off platforms, or do you get locked
there's
in
there's
these?
invisible walls in the foreground,
Okay,
so you can't really do that. I mean, I'm sure sometimes you can do that, but it's like in an area where you're meant to be able to do that.
Nier Automata would do the same thing.
Yeah.
And there's my daily quota of bringing in Nier Automata for commentary.
Well, you've already done it twice, so.
Yeah, but this has more relevance, you know?
True.
I'm at my daily quota of this game is like Nier Automata.
Ah. Which is going to be every single part of Frontiers.
Yeah. It really is.
So the embryo bonus stages are generally more, like, way more challenging. They're usually TNT box platforming, which is scary.
Just
TNT.
don't be a wimp.
Well, it's not even always just TNT. It's usually like box jumping puzzles over bottomless pits. The thing with the bonus levels, though, is that you can die and just immediately retry them over and over and over again until you get it. And that will not count against you. You dying in the bonus levels does not count against color gems.
Gotcha.
So you can keep retrying bonus levels as much as you need. Yeah, see,
that's unfortunate.
See, in an area like this, you're clearly meant to be pushed off the foreground, so they don't have an invisible wall here. But you can use that to your advantage and sort of like jump.
Why
around.
is the timing on that just insane? Dang.
This game's a lot of stop and go. You gotta like be patient and watch the timing. So that's what I do now, because there's always a timing where you can just run through and they're all back like that. So
Gotcha.
This game you gotta be patient with. There's a lot of stop and go. Don't kill that guy without breaking that box. Because you can't reach it otherwise, because the jump in this game is very short. There's a lot of enemy variety in
I like the background on this level.
Oh yeah, so that island in the background, it has like a blimp up to the left of it. That is the final island of the game. So you sort of, it does sort of like a Sonic 3 and Knuckles sort of storytelling where you're building up to the end of the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
There's a few games that'll do that, which will have like a central element in the background.
Yeah, I love that sort of crap in games. But see, your reason why I didn't just use the better attempt is because I thought this was funnier.
Copy that. That's a lot of boxes, damn.
Yeah. They get progressively more injured. And now we're doing it again.
What is the song?
So there was a cut, or there was a canceled Crash Bandicoot cartoon. And this was the theme song.
Oh my.
It's just basically how stupid Crash is.
And you failed the bonus stage.
Yeah, it's fun.
Alright, there you go.
Okay, now we're back.
We're back.
Yeah. And I'm now at this point I'm very cautious. I don't.
Yeah.
But once you grab that gem, I think you're good. Like, I think it's collected and you can beat the level just fine.
Yeah. By the way, Tomb Raider commentary?
Sure. Why not?
Hell yeah.
I want to play the
new
original.
Tomb Raider games.
No, I want to play the original.
Oh, I was talking about the new games. I don't want to play the original.
Mm.
Those polygon tits.
Well, then you can play the new games. I'll record the originals. It's perfect. It's fine.
That's fine by me. As long as I don't play the originals. Those look jank as hell.
I'm gonna play the Saturn version.
You go ahead with that. There's a game store near me that had the Saturn version of Mega Man X4, and they also had Sonic
dude.
CD.
I would immediately buy those.
Sonic CD was like $80.
Sonic CD is the one Genesis era Sonic game that I don't have physically.
Well,
So.
if it's still there, maybe I'll grab it and you can send me money and I'll mail it to you.
I am kind of miffed because at one point my girlfriend was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna buy that for you for your birthday one day," and she hasn't done that. So
Oh, that's a call out. That's a hell of a call out. I hope she doesn't watch this.
I don't even have a Sega CD. I can't play it. But it doesn't mean I don't want it.
Yes, but you have that. You have that attachment for your Genesis Mini. That'll work, right? Right? Yeah, that'll work.
You know, it did briefly satiate my need to have a Tower of Power. But now
how much does a Sega CD cost?
Oh god, that's probably even more than it used to be. But I remember it being like $300.
Fuck that! I bought a PS3 for $20.
And I think that was the Model 2 version because the Model 2 version was more common. The Model 1 version, which is the one that I want, the version that the Genesis Mini accessory is copied from, it is definitely way more than that. Oh yeah. And it also breaks more easily, so it's probably not as practical, but it looks cooler. I'm not gonna be.
So, anyways, back to Crash 4. We're in a cave now. It's a nice looking cave.
This is not Crash 4.
Did I say Crash 4?
Yes. You said back to Crash 4. That was a dumb jump I just made. But no, the temple levels I really like the aesthetic of. And
there's a lot of bats.
Yeah, the bats suck. Well, they're not that bad. Okay, see, look at the Wumpa fruit. Does your instinct say anything there? Huh?
Well, that's a little more obvious, I think.
Yeah, but there's nothing there.
Are you gonna go there?
What do you do? Oh.
Visions of Hang Castle.
Oh my god. Walking across invisible crap in any game makes me nervous.
Still does in Heroes.
Yeah.
Even though it's in like 2 sections of the entire level, it still makes me nervous.
Yeah. Even though,
so I'm just I know how shoddily programmed this game is, so it could break.
Yeah. Those are at least outlined with, a white or a flame on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, man. See, I never had a problem with them as a kid. Actually, I remember the first time I got there as a kid. I was like, what the hell is this? It's like, I can't go anywhere. Tails can't fly me. What the heck is this?
It's like me with a lot of the obstacles. If Tails can't get me past it, I'm going to be here for a while.
Just always in flight formation.
Pretty much. That's how I used to play Rail Canyon. Now I don't give a shit and I'll play it in speed formation the whole time to get by faster, but I used to only play that in flight formation so you could fix yourself if you flew off.
Yeah. If you could switch characters mid-air in that game, it'd be broken.
It'd probably be better.
It'd be more fun, yes.
There's a lot you could do in that game to make it more fun. Anyways, we'll save that for the actual Heroes commentary.
Yeah, you keep threatening to record it. When are you going to actually record it?
Oh, after Adventure. And Adventure 2, of course. Doing those first. At least you gotta have the order.
That's fair. But,
maybe I'll record Adventure 1 after this.
Yeah. But, if you've played more recent Sonic games, to bring it back to Crash a little bit, you might be thinking to yourself, hey, some of these 3D levels, they remind me of later Sonic games. It's
I don't know what you're talking about. This can't be. This isn't like Forces at all.
I don't know, like the fixed camera angle, only one way to go the entire time. The difference between this and something like Forces is that Forces is mind-numbingly easy, and this is like a challenging platformer despite its linearity.
I was just about to play Forces before you hopped on. I thought you'd be a bit longer.
Oh no, I was.
It's funny you bring that up.
I was ready.
You were. I was loading it up, and I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta record Crash now." I don't want to record that shit.
But that is something I want to say is like I think like a high speed Crash Bandicoot sort of thing would be really good. Yeah,
Good job.
That happened. But this is the level, by the way, that that caused people to call this the Dark Souls of platformers.
Oh no, Dark Souls is a platformer. I will argue that.
But I will also say that at least on a first run, this killed me a frick ton.
I can see this being hard, but
like it was frustrating how many times I died.
Not enough to use the stupid Dark Souls meme.
It does give you free lives, so
yeah,
you know, I'm already at 89. Oh my god, I haven't been paying attention.
Yeah, this is way worse than Sonic Mania.
Oh yeah.
I'd have to really try to end my save file my first time through to get 99 lives, but like, dang.
Yeah, I think.
You know what? This is actually kind of closer to Heroes. Heroes, you can get a shit ton of lives by the end of your first playthrough if you don't ever die.
I think I just recorded Mania recently. I think my final life total in that was in the 80s. But this I'm gonna end with 99. I'm like pretty sure. Unless I probably died on the boss, so maybe like 95 or something like that. But yeah. See, so also the thing with these levels is you see those ropes on the side.
Yeah.
You can jump on those and then just walk. You know. It's harder to do in the remake because this is like the one big controversial thing with the remake is that the hitboxes are no longer like rectangular. They're more round. So
yeah.
You can more easily slide off of small things like that. And it's funny too because you can like visibly see the roundness of the hitbox as you slide off of things because of
Damn, I had to play this game as intended. What the hell?
Yeah, these turtles are the reason why the stage is hard, by the way.
Why?
Because you can't make these jumps without the turtles. Okay, it's the later bridge level that
can you kill the turtles though?
Yeah, but then if you do that, you have no way to get across other than the rope.
Ah.
Yeah.
At least Klonoa respawned all your enemies. Klonoa better game confirmed.
I think it respawns the enemies if you die.
Well, yeah, if you die, but Klonoa just respawns them automatically.
Yeah, Klonoa is also a baby game.
Dude, okay. Have you not played the later levels of Klonoa? They got hard.
I haven't, actually, but...
So fuck off.
I do want to record the first game, if we do.
I'd be down for Klonoa. I have not played the second one, though, so...
I haven't played...
I can record that.
I haven't fully played through either, but...
Yeah. I like the first one a lot.
I need to get the remake collection.
Did you play the Wii version or the PS1
Dude,
version?
As a kid, I always wanted that game on my Wii, but nobody ever got it for me for Christmas.
I'm surprised you even knew about it.
I knew about it because Brain Scratch.
I wouldn't want the Wii version. I don't want the voice acting.
I remember being so sad on the Christmas that I found out about Klonoa, and my sister being like, they do not have that game in any stores that I went to.
They only have good games and popular games.
Yeah.
How come you're getting all that after the checkpoint? Or before the checkpoint?
The checkpoint will save your boxes.
Oh, okay.
So
I
it's
get
just
that.
in case I die, I don't want to have to re-jump on the crate.
Yeah.
So
no, it does the same thing actually.
yeah, that's
To bring that up again.
that's also a thing that this remake does, because in the original Crash 1 and 2, the bouncy crate that you get a bunch of Wumpa fruit from, you have to bounce on it 10 times to get all the fruit before the box breaks. Though, of course, you can just spin the boxes, but you don't get any of the Wumpa fruit. But in Crash 3, they introduced it to where it gives you 2 fruit at a time. So it's only 5 bounces, but the remake puts that in Crash 1 and 2 as well. So it's very useful for kleptomania.
Mm. Ooh, fire level. I see.
Sunset Vista.
Sounds pretty.
It's just this.
Where the fuck's the
again.
sunset?
It's up there. We're just down in the jungle.
I better be able to see it.
It's the same level theme we did earlier, so you will.
Lazy pricks. Naughty Dog worst studio confirmed.
That's the thing with linear platformers a lot of the time. It's like,
good thing I was in a bottomless pit.
but yeah, they like reuse a theme a whole lot to have more levels in the game, which, you know, it's fine, and it's actually good. You know, it adds more content, but sometimes it gets a little overbearing, like specifically Crash 3, where you're literally reusing level design for certain levels, and you have to play those levels multiple times anyways.
That was one of the things I liked about Sonic Heroes, is each individual act is completely different. Though that probably screwed over the development of Heroes, because they had to make all those spend all the time making more assets. But
I mean, also not exactly. Like the level design overall was different for like each different team's version of it.
I'm talking about between acts. Like you go from Seaside Hill to Ocean Palace.
Oh, so you consider like Ocean Palace to be Seaside Hill Act 2, pretty much. That makes sense.
I mean, it is, but it's also its own level because it has its own feel and gimmicks, and I really like that.
Yeah. You know, it saddens me so hard that Sonic Heroes is like the closest we'll get to a classic Sonic format in 3D.
Yep.
I've made an oopsie.
I mean, it's only a format in like the most bare bones of ways.
Yeah, but it's like, you know, there's 2 acts per zone. You get the boss fight at the end. There's special stages.
That's what I mean, in the most bare bones of ways, because it plays nothing like that.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
and I'd rather have it play like that than have that formula.
Yeah, well, I would rather have it play like a classic Sonic game too, but I also really like that classic Sonic structure. You know, like I think it's a very satisfying having like 2 acts per level theme, end it with a climactic boss fight, and then you have the special stages there to spice things up. It's just that Heroes has like terrible special stages, and it plays otherwise nothing like a classic Sonic game. So
it just says terrible execution.
Yeah, but I want them to try it again, but they're not going to now because Open Zone is the future of 3D Sonic.
Maybe the new playable characters will let you do a team formation and bring Heroes back.
No.
I want Heroes 2 with Silver and Blaze and someone else on the team. God damn it.
Dude, that was like the thing that I would look up on Google as a kid. Sonic Heroes 2. And I'd get like fan-made box art that I thought was real. And I was like, oh my god! It's so good!
Yeah.
See,
are we still playing Crash?
Yes, we are.
Or why are we playing?
I was about to say I don't have a long history with the Crash series, because I only got initially into it when the remakes were making the rounds. So I'm a relatively recent fan of the series. I haven't played much outside of the original trilogy and Crash 4.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I didn't become a Nier fan until 4 years after Nier Automata came out.
Yeah. But a lot of
So
people,
it could be worse.
like, and I'll agree, a lot of people will say all you really need is Crash 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's arguments to be made for games like Crash Twinsanity, because that's like the open sandbox Crash game.
It's an open sandbox Crash game? That's hilarious.
Yeah, and it's kind of, it looks really good. It's just very, it's like that game's development got rushed so hard, so there's so much cut content to the point where it doesn't necessarily feel like a complete experience. But like other than that, it seems like the game is like a lot of fun, you know. And is
it available anywhere?
I think it hasn't been re-released. There were rumors for a while that they were gonna remake Crash Bandicoot, the original Crash 4, which was called Wrath of Cortex.
Is that one good?
No. It's kind of
no hesitation. Just no.
It's kind of like there are good parts in it. It's basically just Crash 3, but with worse gimmicks, you know. Because Crash 3 introduced like vehicle levels, like character specific sort of levels where, you know, like Coco's on the jet ski and stuff like that. Crash Wrath of Cortex does the same things. Just it's basically Crash 3 copy pasted but changed the homework so it's not obvious, you know. But the changes they made it worse.
Yeah.
Because like instead of like a fun Coco jet ski level, you get just another you get like Coco, and she's platforming, but she's just a worse Crash. Or you get like a submarine level where you can't see anything above or below you very easily and you die in one hit. Like that sort of stuff. It's like the best thing I've heard about that game is that the like main platforming stages have pretty good level design, and that the ball rolling levels are actually a lot of fun. So
yeah.
But I prefer my Crash games to be more straight platforming, which is why I prefer Crash 2 and Crash 4 over Crash 3, personally. But that's just preference at that point. I still love Crash 3. It's just not the one I go back to replay. And it's not the... It's like it and Crash 4 I don't like to complete. Because they introduced time trials in Crash 3, and you need to do the time trials and get at least a gold relic time to complete the game for every level. And that's just padding to me. I mean, it's fun to speedrun the levels, but it's not what I play Crash for. You know, Crash I play to get the juices, my dopamine flowing for collecting a bunch of Wumpa fruit.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like the hassle of trying to complete Sonic Forces, where
it's
even if you have fun with it, there's just so much to do. It's
just padding, like needless padding, pretty much.
If I were like 10 and played it religiously for multiple years, constantly and just slowly getting everything, it would work better. But as an adult, no, it'd be a nightmare. You know?
Yeah. And I completed Sonic Forces. Twice.
How do you feel?
I hate my life.
Exactly.
Look at that. We're already at 99 lives. Wow.
Huzzah.
Oh, I forgot to mention, we got a Cortex bonus level in this stage. He gives you keys, and those keys unlock extra levels, which you also need to complete for completion.
Of course.
And there's only 2 extra levels, I'm pretty sure. and they're both balls to the walls hard. They're hard to get completed, I will say. But they're meant to be like Cortex's ultimate challenges. Hey, it's Koala Kong. He's buff and he's stupid.
Shaking that ass.
Oh yeah,
I respect it.
This is probably the best boss in the game.
What do you have to do?
You spin the rock back at him when he throws the big one. And you avoid the TNT, which falls randomly. So, you know what? I don't like this boss. Never mind. Because if you spin the rock back and there's a minecart in the way, it'll block it. And then you'll have to do the cycle over again. You can spin the smaller rocks to destroy them, so it's a little easier, but yeah, your main obstacle is the TNT.
This guy is in another and is part of the endless stream of King Kong inspired bosses.
Yeah, but he's a koala.
My favorite is Midgemong from
Midgemong.
Borderlands 2.
Is he a
which
midget?
Is, as it sounds. Yeah, it's a midget.
Okay, we shouldn't actually.
No, I was thinking of something else.
We should.
No, there's a fuck.
We shouldn't say.
I'm trying to remember
that word though.
It's okay. It's in Borderlands. We're doing a Borderlands commentary eventually, and we're gonna have to say it.
No, we're not gonna have to say it. We can listen to it though. We love short people.
Shit, I'm trying to remember the title of this guy. I gotta pull this up real quick.
That's the end of the part.
I'm pulling this up before the part ends.
I don't think we even got 50% completion in this part.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, that's why next part.
Oh, it's just King Mong. I'm stupid.
you guys, for next part, better be very grateful to me because it was like 3 hours that I edited down into 1 hour 20.
That's like the kind of editing I did for Dark Souls.
Yeah, it was a nightmare too. For that one part, it felt like I was editing it for. Well, I did edit it all night.
Also, that's what Metroid was like for me.
Yeah, I did.
Metroid 1 was a nightmare to edit.
Metroid Prime 2 for me was like. It was weird because it was so open-ended. I didn't know if I was always making good progress every part, so it felt awkward. I did cut out some meandering, but it's like, I don't know, some of this feels like part of the game, so it's hard sometimes.